Hi guys, hope you are doing well and staying healthy. Today I wanted to share with you a quick journal page that I did in my junk journal. It is a picture of my daughter with a Snapchat filter, and it's a two-page spread, and I'm going to be using a junk journal that I made up, and then some pieces from this Flow magazine, and then some Inky Quill printouts from her Patreon page. And I had these in my stash for quite some time, and I wanted to use them up on this page. So first I'm just going to measure this because I wanted to cover up the writing on this particular page, and I'm just going to trim this piece of paper from the Flow magazine out to fit it on the page correctly. And then I am going to utilize that little label piece that's already printed on the page as part of some embellishments. So you'll see me doing that here in a second. So I just stitched around with some black thread. I use a zigzag stitch on my sewing machine, and then I'm going to glue everything down with my 3-in-1 and then my glue stick. The 3-in-1 I just use around the stitching because it's going to eat my glue stick up if I use that. And then the paper is pretty thin, so I use my glue stick in the middle just so it doesn't bubble up in the middle. So I'm just going to smooth that down here. I believe I grab a credit card or some kind of card like that and smooth everything down. I think it's just an old gift card actually. And these photos are 3x4 size. I believe I got them printed like that. I think from Persnickety Prints. That's my online printing place. That's my favorite. I think the colors and everything turn out really well. It's really good quality. They are a little pricey, but I think it's totally worth the price. So if you're looking for a place to print photos, I highly recommend Persnickety Prints. You can get either the photos in 3x4 size, or you can put two 3x4s on one 4x6 and they'll print it out that way too. It's a little cheaper to do the 4x6, but if you don't feel like spending the time putting the photos on a 4x6 background, then you can just get them printed in 3x4 size and pay a little extra money. So now I'm just gluing these down. I'm using some brown paper packaging that I had. I believe I got it from probably like an Amazon box or something like that. And I just smoothed it out. And I really like using this packaging. It is great because one, I'm recycling it and not throwing it in the recycling bin. And two, I just really like the color. And because I have some brown tones in the pages that are behind that more peachy pink color, I thought that would go well because it just kind of blends in with everything. And then you can see that my middle of the book here has some kind of a brown color music paper, so it just kind of ties in nicely. So I'm just inking up all the edges with my Distress Oxide. It is in Vintage Photo. I just recently got that. I normally have been using like the dye ink, but I really like the kind of smoothness that the oxides have, so I thought I'd try that out. My other pad was getting pretty dry. I didn't have a refill, and I think I looked for refill online. I couldn't find something at a store nearby, so I just ended up trying out the oxide one, and I really like it. So here are the Inky Quill printouts that I ended up using. So pretty much everything on this page, I believe, is from Inky Quill's Patreon page. If you're not familiar with Adele, she has a Patreon, and she has two YouTube channels, Let's Get Inky and Inky Quill, and they have some great videos and inspiration. She does mixed media and scrapbooking and project life and things like that. So if you like that kind of stuff, I'd recommend going and checking out her channels over on YouTube, and definitely her Patreon page where you can get printables and extra videos that you wouldn't see on YouTube. So like I said, these are just all those kind of cutouts. I've just pre-cut them out. I printed them out, and then I have them all just sitting so I can pick and choose what I want when I am scrapbooking. So I picked out a couple things from a couple different kits or a couple different months. These strips are also from her, I believe, and I'm going to pick out two word strips here that I'm going to put on each page. The one on the left says laugh, and the one on the right says what a happy child. And I thought that really went really well with this layout. So now I'm just kind of figuring out where I want to put everything. I'm going to play with this for a bit, and I think I end up putting it, yep, right back where I started. And that's pretty much what the layout's going to look like. I'm going to now kind of come through and start gluing everything down where I like it. I'm going to ink up some of the edges just so it matches the inked up edges that I did on the actual photo border. And then I'm using my ATG gun to glue this down. I use my ATG gun mostly on scrapbook pages and things like that. And when it's a thicker paper, if it's a real thin paper and I want it to be very smooth, like all edge to edge sticking, I like to use my glue stick. Or if it's a heavier embellishment or fabric, I use the 3-in-1. And then with like the scrapbook paper and stuff, I use the ATG gun. So here I'm just using more 3-in-1. I did a little journaling on this card just with some pen, and the pen you see there on the right hand side, it's a Muji pen. It's a gel pen. I'm going to ink up the little cutouts here, and then that's all going to go on the right side. And that's pretty much going to be it. I'm just going to glue everything down. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. If you click on the bell on the right, you can be notified when I have a video up. I've been trying to get a little more videos up here if I can, with a little bit more downtime at times. So hopefully you'll see some more videos from me soon. If you have any questions, also leave those in the comments below. If you want to know about what I used on the page or anything like that, definitely leave those comments below. So now I'm just going to glue down this little heart. I'm going to use my liquid adhesive to glue down the word strip. And then I will show you some close-ups of the page so you can kind of see how the stitching and everything looks. Oh, I forgot, almost forgot. At the very end, I did feel like I needed a little bit more on this plain peachy color page. So I'm going to take some Ellie Edwards stamps that I just showed here. And I'm going to use the same oxide ink. And I'm going to stamp all around the page. And I'm going to use like a little scrap of paper to stamp some of the edges and things. I didn't want it to show up on the brown, and I didn't want it to go on to the embellishments that I had. So this is just a little card that I had sitting over to the side of me, and I thought this really added a nice final little touch to this background. It was looking a little plain, and I like how the brown kind of brings out the brown that I inked around the edges, and it's just kind of fun. Bring some life to that more simple page. So yep, that's pretty much it. I'm going to finish up with this, and that is all. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. I will talk to you again very soon and hope you have a wonderful day and stay healthy and stay safe. Thanks guys. Bye-bye.